My top 6 performances from this past weekend are as follows. Number 1, the Washington Huskies. I'm telling you, put the game on against Stanford, and it feels as though, and it has every week for Kalen DeBoer's team, as though their foot is on the gas the entire game. I'm telling you, it's like they're running downhill at their opponents, and it starts with their quarterback, Heisman candidate quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., and it leads to all the weapons he has on offense, whether it's Wayne Taulapapa, Roma Dunzier, the 2 Jalen's. They have so many weapons, and I love how they just continue to take shot after shot after shot downfield. Then you flip it, and you said in the preseason, well, their weakness might be this defensive front. Well, this defensive front is getting after it. 8 sacks against Stanford. They got after Tanner McKee. His front 7 has been extremely impressive. They cracked the top 15. There's a world, if you look at them on tape and you're saying they could easily be a top 10 team, if not higher. The second most impressive performance to me comes from USC. Oregon State had an incredible game plan. Everything went wrong for USC because of that game plan. SC did not look like themselves in terms of scoring over 50 points per game like they did in the first 3 weeks of the season. But on the road, in front of a crazy crowd at Research Stadium, they didn't fold. And I give Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch a ton of the credit in that regard. This team is full of stars, and a lot of them have just come to the program, not even there a full calendar year, but they believed. Lincoln Riley said earlier in the week, this game would test their togetherness. It did exactly that. And when they needed it, when it was tight late, 4th and 6, they get the QB to run, Caleb Williams, then boom, the knee-line nudge, it gets them that first down, and then it's the touchdown to Jordan Addison, the whole shot, perfect location, and they win the ball game. And I got to talk about the SC defense. The entire defensive side of the ball never folded. Number 3, it's the Oregon Ducks. Again, I go back to their head coach, Dan Lanning, under 40 years old, the 4th game as a head coach in his entire life in major Power 5 college football, and it looked dismal at times. It's 34-22, and you're thinking, the Cougs have this one at home at Martin Stadium. The place is going crazy. They got Cam Ward. They have all the tools, and then they just keep competing. They kept their poise. Bo Nix, this offense, over 600 yards, and then that touchdown pass to Troy Franklin, one of the top plays of the weekend. He keeps his balance, finds his way to the end zone, and Oregon finds their way to a dub. So impressive for this team. Well, after week 1, everybody cast the Ducks off. Well, now they look pretty impressive, and I think Bo Nix and their head coach Dan Lanning is a huge reason why. The 4th most impressive team of the weekend, I'm going to go with the Utah Utes. Defensively, found their identity. This is a team in week 1 at 20 missed tackles. Against Arizona State, very few, only allowed 6 rushing yards, and the front 7 was all over the place. I'm talking about Corinne Reed, Lander Barton, this defensive line, and then the back end, Cole Bishop gets that pick finally in his career. Very impressive overall from a defensive standpoint. They're going to need that effort again against Oregon State. Now, offensively, they lose Brant Keithy, one of the most powerful and explosive players in the country, especially at the position he's playing, that hybrid tight end receiver spot. But Dalton Kincaid, he elevates. These receivers are going to have to elevate. And I believe in Utah, as they found their offensive line, they feel confident. They got a litany of running backs now. They continue on in conference play. Utah, favorite in the preseason win this league. I think there's still conversation about them getting back to Las Vegas, having put the pieces together on the offensive line and defensive front. The 5th most impressive performance of last weekend, I'm going to go with the Cal Bears. How can't you talk about Jaden Ott, the offensive player of the week? The true freshman rewrote all of Cal's record books, 274 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, big explosive plays. This offensive line gets retooled, reshuffled, and they look the part in a 49-point outburst against Arizona. You got to talk about that. This offense has struggled the first few weeks of the season, never found much of a flow. Their quarterback, Jack Plummer, was getting hit 26 times combined. You look at UNLV and Notre Dame, he was clean the whole afternoon against Arizona. Big props to Cal, Justin Wilcox, Bill Musgrave, Angus McClure, this offensive staff. The 6th most impressive performance of the weekend, I'm going to go Oregon State. I get it isn't a loss. Usually don't put teams in this list that have had a loss, but being there, that was an impressive day for the Beef, specifically on defense. Trent Bray, their defensive coordinator, had an incredible plan going in. He talked to us about that plan Friday. and they executed it almost to perfection. Secondary was changing the picture late. They made life very difficult for USC's offense and their wide receivers and their quarterback, Caleb Williams. I like how this team is coming together. Offensively, can't turn the ball over. They know that, but I like this offensive front, and now they go in to Rice-Eccles against Utah. Man, there's a lot at stake, and I think they got to feel, while it stings, that loss to USC, got to feel pretty good about the growth of this program under Jonathan Smith. So there it is, my top 6 performances from week 4.